All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwayash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listen, learning, and to the Bayashah Double Dot, the house of David. This is Men of Valor Las Vegas Camp coming to you through the will and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, as we know and as we see, hey, prophecies are starting to unfold even more. This is the year of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai turning up, and without fail, turning up has happened. All right, it's just been officially announced. All right, that that America, all right, will experience a famine. All right, and this is not a famine of the past. This is about to be a famine like never before. All right, there's going to be a famine of bread and a famine of the word. All right, and we'll get into both of those through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But first and foremost, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose father's line go back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, all right, if it is in you, all right, and you hear this word and it does something to your spirit, hey, it's about high time to wake, all right? It is time for you to hearken unto the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and desire to have the understanding. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Peter 2 and verse 2. As newborn babes, desire sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
God, so as newborn babes, all right, waking up to this truth, hearing the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and it resonates with you, something happening in you, all right, where it stops you in your tracks. You see the men out on the highways and byways, and you want to inquire about more, all right? Take your ass over there and inquire about more, all right? This leads to your very salvation, all right? Your salvation and existence, all right, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because when you hear the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and you understand it and you turn around or you stop at it, and you desire to hear more, that's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now you are waking up. Now you are alive, okay? Because all this other time you have been dead. You have been in a dead, low state, all right? You are the dry bones in the valley, okay? If you do not hearken unto the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, ultimately it's because the spirit's not in you. It's lucky.
And what's going to catch most people's attention, we looking for the elect, but what catches most people's attention is this stick, which is the 12 tribes chart. All right, that's why we have this out here. So the majority of those who lost their heritage, mainly the Israelites, can learn where they really stand in the grand scheme of things. That you're really a special person unto the Most High.
God. All right, because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, whether you believe it or not, the Most High, who the world ignorantly calls God or Jehovah, all right, his name is Yahweh, and who they ignorantly call his son Jesus Christ, all right, the blonde hair Labrador, all right, that his name is Yahweh Shai, and they're not so-called white men, they are so-called black men, all right. But Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has a people, all right, a particular people, a treasure, all right, a treasure unto himself, all right. As you have a favorite car, as you have the favorite gasoline that you choose to put in your car, you can put 87, all right, but you choose to put 92 or wherever the 100 octane, all right, because you feel like that gas helps your performance, all right, helps the performance of your vehicle. All right, so Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has a favorite. He has a favorite people. All right, and his vehicle is to make his prophecies come to pass. So his favorite vehicle, his favorite gas is in the body of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, is in his nation. All right, whether you care to hear it, believe it, or not.
Hebrews 5 and verse 12 says, "For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High."
God, so you have need that somebody teaches you again, teaches you the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua in the right way. That your Christianity doctrine is false. That your blonde hair, blue-eyed Labrador, all right, your devil is not coming back. All right, that he is a false idol. Right.
He's not even saving all of the Israelites. That's how, that's one of the things, that makes it fair, because the Lord's going to bring judgment, first and foremost to his own people.
God. But also to prove, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to prove that your blonde hair, blue-eyed Labrador doesn't exist.
Right.
All right?
Because the Lord is going to be exalted alone in that day. And that depiction, through iconoclasm and stuff, that depiction of of who you call Jesus, goes back to Caesar Borgia, who's one of the first crime families,
Right.
And that goes even further back to Serapis Christo,
right.
Who was a self-made idol, who was a ruler back then. So it goes back to the ancient world.
Right.
And he took something out of their playbook, when he destroyed, the temples, and he said, make me a picture of myself, a depiction of myself,
right?
So I could be thought of as a great person,
right?
And then have all those followers, worshiping, this false doctrine,
that graven image. All right, that's why Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is in the law. All right. Not to worship the beast or the seasons, all right, or images, make statues or anything like that. All right. It is against the very law. But here it is, man, and especially Esau Edom has it exalted theirself up so high and have statues of everything. All right, have statue of them conquering the nation, our nation, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, which are the true children of Israel, as well as these other nations. All right.
And then they put the same ones that afflicted us. They put themselves on the $20 bill. They put that Teddy Roosevelt statue with the Native American, so-called Native American, and the so-called black man.
God.
Standing right next to him, like they're on the same side.
Right.
When we really knew it was going down.
Right.
If you find that true history, what they call critical race theory. Now, that's why you don't want it in your schools right now.
Right, because hey, you're being exposed. You're being exposed, and you have to answer for the sins of your fathers. All right, and through the Spirit, you are your fathers. You're the same fucking devils who were doing the same fucking thing and ain't changed today. All right. The thing is, you got a little bit craftier, hide it in your laws a little bit more. Just enough. Why? Because if you want to hide something from Jake, a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, put it in a fucking book. All right. Most of you simple ass niggas ain't gonna pick it up. All right. You got a pre
Jeremiah 3:15. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua said he's going to give you pastors after his heart to feed you with the knowledge and understanding. The knowledge understanding of these scripts. All right. The true law. All right. The law that has governed the world since it began. All right. There's nothing else needed. The law is perfect. All right. It is man who is wicked. All right.
The Most High, gave a promise to Abraham. He said, "I'm gonna send you to the land of Canaan, which is flowing with milk and honey."
Oh.
Now, that also was representative of the abundance of, because that land is rich right there.
God, the abundance of wealth that comes out of there.
Right, but it's also that they were supposed to be living righteously. That's what that milk and honey is that truth, that knowledge of doing so. Yeah. Right here, I got you.
Yeah, you got you.
I'll show you right here.
All right, so the most The Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Salakia, all right, demands obedience, as the brother was going into, for that land of milk and honey. All right. What's matter of fact, pull Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 1. Matter of fact, start up at 8. Start up at 7. Start at 7. Thrash, you already pulled. You got what he called for? You got it?
I got Hosea 4:6.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 3 and 8.
Ezekiel 2. Go to 2 and 7. But hold that right quick and read Hosea again.
This is Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children.
Because our people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're destroyed. The only thing you care about is getting the bag. I gotta get the bag. I gotta get to work. I gotta get this bitch. I gotta get this. No, you gotta get salvation if it's for you. All right, that's what you should go after. But you don't want to hearken. You want to continue in this fucked up society. You want to be in this place. All right, you want to live and dwell here constantly. You have no care for anything outside of your little fucking world. All right, goes to show you that there are many worlds. All right, this is all you care about. You care about nothing. All right? Go ahead. Hold up.
Ezekiel 2 and 7. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether will they forbid, for they are much rebellious.
So we will speak the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, whether you care to hear it or bear it. All right? To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true children of Israel, but as well as to these other nations, whether you be African, whether you be Hindu, whether you be so-called, these are so-called, your bywords, all right? So-called white, all right? So-called Aramaic, so whatever, all right? No matter your nationality outside of a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, you're still going to get your judgment. If you're so-called Ethiopian, we are not the same. Just like us and the Africans are not the same. We are not the same people. All right, so you will receive your judgment through the will and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You will hear these words and hearken unto them too, whether you care to hear or forbear. Read that again.
Ezekiel 2 and 7. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether will they hear or whether will they forbid, for they are much rebellious.
Good. But you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are most rebellious. You're rebellious of the thing that is here for you. All right, the only very thing that can save your life, the only very thing that you should have ever known, the thing that you exist for. All right, your very existence is for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Your very existence is to do His will. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting with the man, all right, to do His will, all right, to be preachers and teachers of His word to these other nations. Okay? Go ahead, continue.
Ezekiel 2 and 8. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee, but not thou rebellious like the rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I will give thee.
So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said, be not rebellious like that rebellious house. He's talking to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who have that ear, all right? Who heard that name, heard a brother out on the highways and byways, or heard a brother on the video, and you got intrigued and you had to turn back, all right? You kept on. You haven't found a camp. Hey, the camp is the camp of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which the truth and where the truth is coming from GMS, all right? Apostle Tahar on down, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Salaki, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, and Apostle Ramla, all right? That is where the truth lies. It lies in GMS and the men who teach that doctrine, all right? Us ourselves are not of GMS, but we are the men who teach the same doctrine, who teach the 100% truth of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 8, starting at verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply, and go in and possess the land which the Lord Yahweh sware unto your fathers. Verse 2, and thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy power led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, and to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no.
God, because Yahweh Shimei Shai. Hey, we traveled around in a circle when we came out of Egypt for 40 years. 40 years, you're going roundabout in a circle. If Yahweh Shimei Shai isn't a terror, man, you're a damn fool. All right? Here it is. The lane could be right in the middle, but for 40 years, your ass has missed it. All right? Until you fucking wicked ass niggas died off. The will of Yahweh Shimei Shai will be performed no matter what. Not a respecter of persons. All right? He doesn't care about this whole fucking land. All right? America is going to die by thermonuclear fucking fire, whether you believe it or not. Go ahead.
Verse 3, and he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord Yahweh doth man live.
Hey, famine is coming. Famine. Biden just said we're in a food crisis. Another word for a food crisis is fucking famine. You don't want to, you hear food crisis, you're like, okay, it'll be okay. We'll make it through it. No, bitch, you won't be okay. This shit is not normal. This shit is abnormal. You fucking Americans eat, 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 eat. That's all you do is eat, eat, eat. And I'm guilty myself. All right, but the difference is I know the will and power of Yahweh Shimei Shai. All right? I liken my life after Yahweh Shimei Shai. I tried to the best of my ability, and every brother who teaches and preaches the truth, who believes on the name of Yahweh Shimei Shai, to change their ways.
And how Biden, he's trying to make it so you aren't alarmed,
Right.
He's trying
Speak to me smooth things.
Ease the situation in there, so at the same time, he can't say, I told you so, but then also, he doesn't want to make people panic, because we know when he already got too much, he already got too much that he can handle right now.
Right.
Over his head,
Okay. There is no food crisis coming. Famine. Famine. You will fucking starve to death. All right. Matter of fact, full Lamentations. Lamentations, I believe it's 2 and 7. It might be 3. It's lucky. It's Lamentations 4 and 8. Start at 8. Whoever got it.
Lamentations 4 and 8. Their bushes is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth unto their bones. It is withered. It becomes like a stick.
So that word right there, visage. All right, that word right there is wasted, basically wasted away. All right, disappearing. All right, you're fucking. What happens in the process of a famine? All right, when you're not eating, first you think of it as a good thing. Hey, I'm losing weight. These fat cells are gone. All right. Then what happens after the fat is eaten away? Then starts the muscle. Right, your body starts eating its fucking self. All right.
They had those depictions of Gandhi when he was starving himself.
Yeah.
For his cause.
Right.
I don't want to get too much into it, but when he was going on that That thing.
his fast. All right, and the so-called issues. All right, the issues and what happened over there, so-called.
But that's a depiction of how a lot of people are going to start looking.
Right.
You know, when it comes down the line of not having anything to eat, when they ate, because in the book of Jeremiah it talks about them eating their own children.
Continue on that. Matter of fact. Yeah.
Called Mein Kampf. It's by Hitler.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And one of the things that he said in the book is that the reason why he didn't have passion for those people, by the way, it's well overdone. He couldn't kill 6 million people because
Right.
there wouldn't have many in the world.
Right.
On top of that, they had to have at least I think an hour or two for the thing to clean out. We put another body in there. Not saying that he didn't kill a lot of people, but he didn't kill nowhere near. So, what that many Jews in the world supposedly issues no more.
Right.
I don't even give that courtesy comment. They're not. They're issues.
Right.
Come on. But he says that how can the Jews leave black and come back white?
Right.
That's what his problem was. He didn't feel they were really proud
Legit.
of who they were. They were trying to go into something else, and he knew. He said, "No, this is not who you are."
Right.
He was and by the way, small fact, they never mention this. When they talk about Hitler, because they want all you to donate the money.
Right.
Guess what Hitler was?
He himself was a small hat.
Right.
Yeah, because
So don't tell me.
Because it goes after their mother's lineage and for the issues, right?
On top of that, Whoopi Goldberg told the truth.
Right.
Which I guess in these days is get punished for telling the truth. That wasn't a fight between the world against the issues and all. No. It was an inner fight with many people. And so why should we that's brutality man to man. That's not about somebody special and all that. You know what I'm saying? They're not special. So I guess they got rid of her. They got rid of her, whatever. She made a lot of money, whatever. But maybe that's a good thing because change is good. The only thing that stays the same is change. Change is always going to happen.
Right.
But the law never changes also. In court, I always see you talk about the court. There's principles in court, one of these you have to understand, they never change. And once you bring that into court and understand the principles, it never changes.
Right.
So when you have all this chaos going on, stick to the principles. That's a very good start. Very, very good start right there. Best start. And you will not go wrong.
Right.
And studying the history of of Hitler and his brutality towards the issues, that's what kind of got me started in this truth, before I met this brother. And the main reason why he had it out for the issues was because they were going around Germany and they were everybody's lender.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
And then it destroyed Germany's economy.
Yep.
All right. So by then, when Hitler came into power, he said, "We're doing away. There's gonna be no more loans. You guys can't loan over here." A lot of them started going broke. But that's what that built up his fire. For the hatred upon the Jewish.
Hey, Salakia, there was no more false ballots. All right. There was no more what is this fiat currency?
Because they were getting over on people. They needed a lot of Germans that actually, they were German.
Right.
They were falling in debt, and they put the issues put the whole country of Germany in debt.
Oh, that's exactly why a big portion why America exists today. All right. That's why America is a business. It is a business.
And you look at
A merchant of the world.
and you look at who the elites are today. Hey, they're the same people.
Right.
The Bible speaks about this. It's kind of people don't ever associate with it. There's a cop that just exists until 20, 30, 40 years, right? And that's how they instantly get into it. Say, "Hey, man, are you doing something?" Well, if you answer yes or no, you're drawing in the contract. So what you're supposed to say is, I don't talk.
or ask him a question. Anytime you ask anything other than you say, would you have a right to say, well, I'm not talking right now? Or if he says something like, hey, are you Bobby? If you say no, he can arrest you right there. The game is a trick. And the issues are the ones that set it up, really, because that's a contract. There's three types of contract: verbal, written, and a contract by action. You answer to a so-called cop anything other than ask him a question, which he can't hold you to somebody answers to you. He said, well, I draw business. Now you're holding contract default or something of this nature. That's all it is right now. It's all about the money. You go to court and they say, do you have your ID? What's your name? Notice it's all written in capital letters. Reason why that is, it's all a monetary thing. They cannot talk to you as a man. Okay? All capital letters are not allowed in English language. This is a fiction. This is fictitious. But as you were saying earlier, nobody reads this. Nobody picks up a book and reads. You want to put in a book and read it? We won't. We won't. No. I mean, I can't tell. I used to hang with guys like Mayweather and all that. They will not. No. They look at you, laugh at you, call you going to beat you up and all this other stuff.
They know they carry.
Yeah, well, I don't know. To me, I thought he could read, but just
All you read those checks. That's all he cared about.
Right.
They cared about.
That's what
I get called nerd. Oh, you want to sound like white boy? You this and that, And it was like anti-reading.
Right.
And in the Chicago Manual of Styles, they will tell you that that is not allowed. And if you have all capital letters, you look at it as a business. When you go down to court and they call your name, you stand up. First of all, you're not supposed to stand up for anybody for who?
All the time.
Okay, so why do you stand up for that guy in the black robe? That makes no sense. But again, we're getting fooled. So you stand up and then you answer your name. He told you in the Bible about the words and the tricks. And when you answer your name, you just did what they call a verbal contract. So now, in contract law, now you're in business. All he's got to do now is how much are you guilty for? Because now you decide to be the debtor. See, when they took that ticket that you're going to take, a speed ticket, they hold the debt. They're the ones that hold it. They're the debtors, which is another word for a slave. Okay? But what they do is, as soon as you say their name, and you don't get them, you don't say, well, are you talking about a proper noun, a common noun? What are you talking about? Because a proper noun is something different. Common noun is something, it could be anything. There could be 20 different meanings to that common noun, that name, or whatever like that, right? Nobody's, we have to see this. Cop says, sign right here, right? First of all, nobody ever prints the name. They tell you that in the words. Say tricks, very, very tricky, but he can't lie to you.
Right.
He says write in cursive. You're cursing. They tell you that, and they tell you in court. It takes time to do this notice. And if you sign something, you sign in cursive. You're cursing. They can hold you in contempt. You're cursing it. Okay? But you're showing your ignorance in cursive. On top of that, you ever said to him, if he says to you, well, what is your name? Well, he just made a statement to you. You volunteered the information. He said, well, my name is so-and-so. He made a statement, said, what is your name? You should have said, no, what is not my name? Or I would have said, you know what? I'm not talking to you. I don't know what the tricks are. You guys do this every day. That's very simple. That's exactly what they were doing in Germany, is that the trickery, the words, every time you go to court, there's monetary value. You have a triangle. It's on your dollar bill, and they tell you this. On top is the all seeing eye. Right. On the right-hand side is the debtor. On the left-hand side is the creditor, which means they owe you. The moment that you go down there and you don't read, and you don't know the tricks and the traps of the court system, they hold the debt. They gave you that speeding ticket, right? Now you go into court. They hold the debt. They have to pay that. They have to trick you to take that name and take the charge to get it off of them. That's the whole court system. Right. That's exactly what it is. And you've already been tricked there by standing up, by signing, and things of that nature, right? It's very, very important that, I'll make it quick here, but the Chicago Manual of Styles is the trickery that they use. It's a 1,300-page book, and they have so many different styles of language, but it's all very consistent. But the Bible told you already how to act and how to conduct yourself in court. Right. What? Have no fear. When you go before Caesars, right, and they tell you how, I'm there with you. So it's very important to realize that and to take these words in there. There's people that have got caught out here, sleeping in somebody's house. Well, not saying you should steal, but the Jewish bank or whatever, he got this house. He tricked you. You guys think you're paying money. It's not money. It's us. It's fiat money. has no intrinsic value. God's money is gold and silver. Interesting fact. Never buy anything, right? Let's say you get a bunch of money. Go get some gold and go buy something with gold, right? What happens at that point, they will never tax you. You cannot be held liable for not paying tax. You bought it in gold. Okay? Make sure you buy it in front of a notary public. Make sure you have witnesses, whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? The Bible says you have to have at least two, right? 2 witnesses. Follow what the Bible says. Have at least 2 witnesses. You cannot be taxed. You ever buy a house, right? And you want to raise a family, and you don't want to have all these HOAs and all this right there, right? Watch your contracts. Watch every word in that contract. If you don't understand one word, you look it up in the Chicago Manual Style or in a very respectable dictionary or something of this nature. I say Black's Law Dictionary or Bouvier's Bartlett Law Dictionary. I'm almost not a problem. I would try to impart the knowledge, you know. And, buy a house in gold. You will never have to pay another tax on it. Also, this thing called a 1099A. This whole system set up where it actually is God's system. They have to bow down to God, but you never know that. Learn about the 1099s, how to what they call offset adjustment. You go to a car dealer and you explain to him that there is no real money.
That's exactly why Uber and Lyft and everything had that program where you could get a car through them, all right, as a business, and you were not held liable for anything that happened to that car until something actually happened to that car and it went on your insurance. So if you got in an accident and somebody claimed the insurance, being that you are now a business, if you didn't put that car in a business name, you were held liable for it and you could not charge it to the business, even because you yourself are a business, but you need to be a separate entity. That was just like
I'm not an expert on it, but they have CBA on this right here.
Yeah.
If you ever get into debt, it's very important to learn this because what happens is you can offset that debt. You can zero out the account. When you learn how to use your Social Security number on the private side, but they say God's side. In business, they have to recognize God. They have to recognize the fake world. Okay, you have a private side, which is your Social Security number without dashes. Okay, and then you have Social Security number with dashes. That's the public side. Okay, so remember that when you have a 1099, and I'm not an expert, but you can do the research. You can go and purchase something. Why don't you explain it let's say to the car dealership how this whole thing works? They can go get the money for the treasury, which is guaranteed. I think it takes maybe 3 weeks to 6 weeks or whatever right there. That money is guaranteed. Okay? Now, you'll be paying 10 years for that car, or 5 years, 7 years, whatever. But because we didn't read on how to do the 1099As and C's, all different ones, how that you can offset and you can zero out the accounts and adjustment accounts. As I said, I'm not an expert on it, but I want to tell you that they have to respect God. They understand that in the court system. So if you follow God's law and learn how to implement that and demonstrate to the court, they will let you go and you will not be held liable. You will not go into debt. Remember that.
Hey.
God's law is the right law.
Hey.
And they have to bow down to that.
study show that stuff.
I got this. I got a script right quick, and then also when you go to prison for murder, you're not going to prison because you actually killed somebody. You're going to prison because you're paying off the debt of what the government would have made off of that person. Because everybody's a business to them, and prison is one of the biggest business and one of the biggest how do you call it? Like either gambling or prison. I would say prison.
Because of all the costs that thing and a little bit of investment, return on your profit. There's no more profitable business. Hands down in Nevada. Prison. Don't take my word for it.
That's all the money that they got stored up, in each one of them casinos too.
Hey, that's from
It always that.
that's from what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. All the car accidents, all the prostitution, all the business, so-called business taxes that they have, and hey, everything. You don't pay state tax, but you pay every other tax on top of it.
With all the folly that happens, everybody comes from different parts of the world, to come basically and get in debt over here.
And then they get in trouble, go back to their country, and they got to come back to court, or they got to send their money just back. You know what? Just go ahead and pay it off. I'm not going back over there.
They don't lie to you. They tell you the truth because they have respect. They understand the karma that comes down from the Most High. They tell you on that what you call dollar bill money, which is not has 4 corners. I don't explain that, but anyways, they tell you it's a note. Nobody ever looks up the word note. Note means an IOU. All we do all day long is trade IOUs. Now, obviously, we need something to eat. This is a system or whatever. But an NOTE is a note. It's not real money. God's money is gold and silver. Even in the Constitution, they tell you that God's money is gold and silver. They said that a conqueror shall sign value thereof. So anytime you deviate from that, you go into their world. What I call the beginning of the metaverse. This has happened, when they institute these Federal Reserve notes. And they tricked you, and then they had to give you the first metaverse, which is your ID, thinking that's you. That's a character to you. That's ink, plastic, and paper.
Right.
That's not you. But when you cop says you this you and you admit to it, you just signed a verbal contract. Now you're in the my meta world. That was the first. You think it's because it's glasses, this and that. You're already into it already. It's just another step to it to get you even deeper, physically involved into it. But you were already mentally involved in it already because you had the ID. Thought it was you.
Right.
I told you about this. In the Bible.
That's why they say you've been mentally enslaved. And fucking right. Yeah. This is mental slavery as many generations. This isn't new. They've been doing this 100, 200 years back. All right. The Emancipation Proclamation.
Just a transfer of
ownership. That was it. Instead of having a race-based slave, I'm gonna make everybody a slave. All right, because it was actually so-called European white Americans. All right, and everybody who looked like them had the ability to be a true citizen. All right. Then, when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, everybody who had stock and value in America became a slave. And either you knew how to play the game or you didn't. If you didn't know how to play the game, your family lost their wealth very quick from all the slavery and everything. They lost their wealth, and they became what are they called? Commodores, right? And like in the South, heavy in the South. Like that's when you got what are they called? Slovakia. I'm forgetting that. But basically, let's just say your governors and your senators and, trustees. Thank you. Trustees to the trust. All right. And those families were allowed to shift and move that money around. All right. But they only could move it so far. And
you have the trustee and then you have the beneficiary. Yes, we're actually beneficiaries of the trust. So we always want to go work, not realizing that you said what I was saying about 1099 in a different way, but we're actually beneficiaries of the trust. Okay, when you go to court, you're actually beneficiary. If you make that point known, let them know that they are the debtors. They're the ones who administrating the trust.
Right.
They failed to do their duty. They're the ones that should be punished. They'll punish you for something. Now, if you put in a crime, you steal something, you break the laws of the Bible, I'm not going to help you. I won't tell you anything. If you murder somebody, if you steal something, you're a criminal. You need to go to prison, jail. But a lot of these other BS charges, which are 85% of the charges, are not really real
trumped up charges.
Right. And this is exactly what you were saying about the trust. This is the whole system was set up with trust. And we have the lender is benefiting off your health and your wealth.
Yep. And
they're being the trustees that are making all this money. You should be making it. And you're saying you owe us. They're the ones who owe you. That's why you go to a car dealership, do 1099A, or I forget exactly which one it is. You learn about this, then they have to pay. The government doesn't want you to know this. In fact, there's one more story. I'll give you a story. There's a guy who learned this. Bought a new car every month and a new house. Got a knock on the door, and I think it was in December. I'm not exactly sure what day in December. And the FBI. They said to him, we're not going to put you in jail. I mean, you know what you're doing. We know you know what you're doing. But you buy one house a year and one car a year. Don't buy one every month. So they were in black suits. Interesting. They're always in black suits. I'm just saying. But
warlocks and witches.
right. But you learn this information. You know what I'm saying? For you yourself. You have to demonstrate that you're under God's law. You're not a heathen. So God made everything free. It's only the nations that start to charge for everything.
Right.
They give you money on account, things of this nature.
Right.
So it's got the world all messed up. And you're in the metaverse. You were in the metaverse. 1865, 1866, so they transferred, gave you the citizenship. Rather than being a man, they said, "Oh, men were created equal, right? Why not do you have a black man, a white man, you have color law?" I was told you, all men. Anything other deviates from the Bible, you're done, buddy.
Right. That's fair. Go ahead.
This is Daniel 4:17. Says this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up it over the basis of men. All right, so hey, it's like, can I break it down?
Yeah, you break it down.
So the main point right there was that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, which means his laws stand, in the kingdom of men. It's always going to be in that overseeing over everything. It overstands everything. And then I got this in Romans 7:1. It says, "Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth." All right. And then go to Rashi to Malachi 3:6.
This is Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed."
The Lord doesn't change. It was that was the whole script. The law. So it doesn't. The Most High doesn't change, so He doesn't give up His power seat to nobody. And as the brother was saying, Esau, Edom, they have to respect the laws in the Bible, no matter what draconian measures they enforce or whatever bullshit laws that they in place and only enforce upon Jake when they want to.
You have to demonstrate that in court. Once you demonstrate that in court, learn a couple little tricks in court,
Right.
they really do.
Right. That's why they know how to get themselves out of certain things, and to people without that knowledge of the laws on this side,
Got it.
it's difficult for them.
I got two for you. I got Book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1, and it reads, "The king's heart is in the hands of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it, he turneth it wherever so, with ever so," I can never say that, with so ever, I can't always get tongue twisted, he will, all right? So Yahweh Shem Yahushai will control, all right, and controls everything, like the brother said, all right, in the kingdom of men, and ultimately everywhere, all right? But this is another precept. This is Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 1. Better is the poor that walketh in his ignorance than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. All right, because these draconian measures, these are foolish measures that these people are doing. All right, in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, for all the wickedness and basically the hell that it creates. Let me get this on last one. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 6. "The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death." All right, that seek death.
The word employ means they're not going to back all this. What language are you? They're gonna treat you with language. This is how you employed, so they're asking you a trick question. What they're saying to you is, are you going to conduct legitimate business for deceitful purposes? Don't take my word for it. Look it up. In any respect of all, to conduct legitimate business for deceitful purposes. That's what being employed is. Okay. To apply for a job. To apply for a job means to beg. Why are you begging for a job? What you're doing is you're saying, okay, you're begging to be a slave. God didn't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, to employ means you're conducting legitimate business for deceitful purposes. That's the exact one that they're using. So they're saying, are you being dishonorable? Are you being a heathen? You're being deceitful. So if you're being an employee, you're doing the slick tongue with the slick guy who owns the business. You're doing him. He knows that business is not all that. He can't promise you this, give you that, deliver you. What? I guess the employees do. His little minions, his Satan or whatever, his little demons or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. I'm not saying not to be cognizant of being supporting your family or whatever, but you don't have to do this, how to get out of the system. It's the way God wants you.
That's all that, we maintain, just enough. We just, pray daily, that's all, we need.
But this man is honorable. That's what they mean. That you're living a guy, you're not a heathen. So it's very important to be honorable. And that's why I say I don't even know gender name, but I should be studying it more than I do. And you're demonstrating that, you're not using Caesar's money. Because God told you, render to Caesar what is Caesar. Right?
Yep.
So you have to know how to get out of that.
Hey, and be not thy oppressor.
Right.
And choose none of his ways.
Right. But sometimes you just gotta go. You have to use that discernment. As what we said. Use the system, but don't let it use you.
Right. We use the world, not abuse.
Right. Don't. It's different from me getting a job. To take care of what's necessary on this side, but then me getting conformed to this. Now I'm doing stuff out of the law.
Right.
And that's where
chasing that bag.
Yeah, when you chase the bag, and then the means to get that bag, what means are you taking to get that bag? Doesn't mean that the Most High is not going to bless you. He'll bless you with whatever is fit for your lot. If it was meant for you to be homeless on the street, you're going to be homeless on the street no matter what. You could go win $1 million down at the casino.
You're going to have a good weekend.
Next year, you dead ass broke again.
Right. That's true. Hey, you see it time and time again. Right.
Right, because let's get this real quick. It's gonna be Jeremiah 5:22, and then I'm gonna grab that other precept I was holding.
God. If you grab that precept, we'll head back to Lamentations. I want to hit on that.
Come on, still holding. This is a.
Hey, and this is all about. Hey, this goes into being diligent, all right, and searching the scriptures, as well as being circumspect. All right, being circumspect of man's laws, being circumspect of men in general. All right, don't believe that this devil, all right, has your best interests at hand. All right, this society wasn't built up off of truth and honesty. America did not come about by hard work and dedication. It came about by rape, robbery, murder, and lies. All right, because if to rape and to rob is telling a lie. When you rob somebody, you're lying to somebody. All right, you rape somebody, typically you told them a lie to get them into position where you could rape them. And murder, come right over here. Don't worry, trail of tears. Don't worry, just keep on coming. All right? As we slaughter and decimate your fucking nation and your family. So
Jeremiah 5:25 says, your iniquities have turned away these things and your sins have withholden good things from you. See, from going off, the Most High had to chastise our nation, had to chastise you for all the wickedness that you continually did throughout the generations, not taking heed to the laws.
I got the definition of the word rape right here. The word goes to the act of despoiling a country in warfare. That's one of them. Another one says destroy and strip of its possessions. And another one is to seize, abduct, take by force, to defile, ravish, violate. So basically, rape, robbery, murder, all three in one.
Rape, robbery, and murder. That's the true American way.
How do you feel about Ukraine? I looked at him and I was laughing. He got pissed because I said, how do y'all hurt each other? Till the cows come home.
Right.
And when they get hungry enough, eat each other, poop it out, shoot the poop. I said, because, you go to people's country all over the world and you rob, murder, rob stuff, and you say, oh, you're not an American. You certain rights over here. You certain freedoms, this and that. So how were those things gained? You call yourself a Christian. If I steal your house 100 years from now, that's still your house, or I stole it. It's my house, right? Because you're dead now, and now your grandkids, they're starving on the street because you bought a beautiful house. Now it's my house.
Right.
Because I forced you. I got you, right? I'm an American. You don't go to Afghanistan. You don't go to well, you mess with Vietnam.
You tried.
And now they're going into Africa and everywhere else. The Eagles, our brothers. And they're saying, well, now we're going to get in here. We're going to get all the land of money instead. You don't steal something and call it your own. It's not cool.
Hey, lying lips.
You must be paid for that. That must be a price to be paid.
Yeah. And that price to be paid, all right, that price is going to be paid for that. Hey, is that thermonuclear fire. First and foremost, these shores of America are going to burn, as well as other places, but chiefly, this whole land of America will never be inhabited again, all right? This place will die by thermonuclear fire, thus saith the Bible. All right, you had another precept you wanted to get? God. Yeah, is it?
I think it's Iraq. Maybe it's 11 in 18. I was looking at
Yeah, great.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, starting at verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Verse 9, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
That's exactly why, because he coveted another man's house, all right, another man's land, all right. That's no different than walking into somebody's house and saying, you know what, this shit is mine now. Everybody else get out. All right, that's the same thing what this devil did as the colonizer has done to all these other nations. All right, that's why America. Everybody hates America. It used to be everybody wanted to come over to America and was willing to play with the game, liked them just enough. All right, but they're like, man, fuck America. This is what these other nations are saying, and this is what you're seeing. All right, this is why NATO is having a problem within themselves.
Yeah, Mary Clay, iron mixed with Mary Clay is starting to crumble now.
Right. There's no foundation. All right, there's no foundation for this system because this foundation of the system was false to begin with.
These other nations, rulership. You look at the statue of that was Daniel dreamed about. or that Nebuchadnezzar dreamed about, and Daniel broke it down to him what it meant. That stature is like somebody who just did, worked out their upper body, but then they didn't do they skipped leg day.
Right.
So it's about to fall.
Hey, and even more so through the time. All right, here it is. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai had you at the height and the peak when the dream was. All right, everything was in its fullness. All right, but throughout time, these nations and all their lies that they told are compacted on top of each other. God, sins have reached the heavens. All right, but this time it worked a little bit backwards as far as the statute. It started from the head to the foot. All right. God.
Ecclesiastes 8 verse 11.
Holly.
It reads, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Right, because you don't see it happening immediately. All right, because it hadn't happened in your grandma's lifetime. It was that you had that on the movies, the old guy walking around, or the world is ending. The world is ending. The end is near. All right, and you laughed and scoffed at it. All right, but in truth and honesty and sincerity, hey, this was back when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, who the world so calls Jebus. All right, I'm not gonna give any more power to that fucking name today. All right, who you call Jebus? All right, read between the lines. Who you call Jebus? It's been happening since then. All right, John the Baptist said, "Behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand." All right. So with that message being pushed out for all these years, eventually an end had to come. And he gave you the signs to look for it. All right, and as we go on, hey, the Spirit's going to bring it out to show you those exact signs. Go ahead. You're free. Go ahead.
All right, so that judgment, that judgment still gonna come. It says this is Sirach 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealing, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right.
Yeah, my eyes right now. Yeah.
The wind out here too. Yeah, honey got a lot of health benefits. A lot of health benefits. But yeah, those everything that the elites have done, inflicted upon our people to the rest of the world, they're gonna pay for it, even if it doesn't come right now. See, their judgment, that's the difference between the elect and the rest of the world right now. The elect is being tried in fire, which means we have to be refurbished. We're getting molded, day in and day out. We get our judgment quick. These other nations, it's prolonged, but know that they will have to pay their time. They will have to pay in due time.
Believe this up being a good case.
Right. All right, and this was the last precept I had pulled. This is the book of Job, in chapter 2. I'll start at verse 1. This is going to how Satan is under command of Yahweh.
God.
Just as Yahweh Shai is. Just as I wanted to pull it a little bit earlier, but this is that same thing that going into how Esau has to respect the laws of the Most High. This is Job 2:1. Again, there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord, and the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord. And the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord. And the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord. And the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. In verse 3 it says, And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, and perfect and upright man? And I'll leave it there. But he is a servant just as Job is a servant.
Right.
Just as the elect is a servant. Satan, the servant, he just on the left-hand side doing out Yahweh's will, for the wickedness and the evil plagues to come out.
Right.
He has that job too. But nobody's not under that authority.
Hey, everything that is done under Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's order is righteous. All right? Everything that is done. He controls the left and the right. All right, so you know that judgment that is being passed is righteous. All right, and that's going back into this famine that's coming. All right, this famine is to weed people. All right, and this is even though it may be looked at as a man-made famine. All right, ultimately it's through the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It's not man who controls it. All right, it is the very things that are put in place so it can happen.
Right, because Pharaoh could have let the Israelites go when his ass was when Egypt was getting fucked up.
Right.
But the Most High put that
I will
harden his heart.
Yeah, I will harden Pharaoh's heart.
Watch that movie, and at the end, who gets the money? That's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, that's essentially, and through the Spirit, it's the elect who are going to get that money. Why? Because the Abarat is we are those men. We're storing our treasures up in heaven. We're making our body a living sacrifice. We're coming out here to proclaim and teach the name and preach the name and prophecies of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right? And it's not of our own will. We don't give a fuck what y'all think. All right? We're out here and we prophesy every day, whether it be on a video, whether it be whether it be out on the highways and byways, all right, whether brothers be walking and running into somebody. All right? Don't nobody care about Esau Edom's whole fucking system that's falling. This bitch is falling and she's not getting up. America's on a fucking life alert. All right? She's on a life alert. She's in the midst of her fall, going to press it. All right? And then she thinks she's going to get help. There is no lifeline.
Right. That's what, going into the book of Exodus, when they, what the Egyptians do before, the Israelites fled out of Egypt, they gathered and were giving up all the jewelry back.
Take all this, right?
Because they first knew it wasn't rightfully theirs.
Right.
But it was going to show that transfer of rulership. Because after the 40 years, Joshua went around and started, taking over. Taking over all the other surrounding powers.
Right.
He was smiting them down.
Hey, it's the transfer of power, transfer of wealth. All right, transfer. And what is real wealth? Land, cattle. All right, wheat, barley, whatever else, whatever goods it means for you to live. All right, and that gold and silver.
How the way it works, all the way told. So out here they can't have jurisdiction because you hold the ladder up under your hand, you'll burn out of effect. God's law, right?
Right.
If you steal something, you must be punished for, right? God's law. When you go to the metaverse, Bitcoin, does it exist?
Yeah.
Only the rules exist.
Only the rules.
So they take jurisdiction over that. They're taking you away from God's law, right? Which is material out here because they have no jurisdiction over that. There's already physical laws to this right here, which are created by God. Go to the metaverse, though, that's their world.
Right.
That's why they always have, copyright strikes from YouTube and things of that nature, because that's their world.
That's their law. Hey,
And that's what they control.
that's
They
their
want to
government.
take you away, and they say it's in the mind. Once they take the mind away, they can take the body away.
Right.
That's pimping.
Hey, what is it? What is kill the mind and the body will fall. All right. Because if you don't have your mind, guess what? Your mind is telling you to breathe. All right. Your mind is telling you to blink, eat, sleep, shit, all that. All right. If they get control of your mind, which in a way they already have control of the of 2/3 of the nation Israel's mind. All right, stuck in this fucked up system that you cling so much. You have that fucking Stockholm syndrome that you rely on. You rely on these people. You love this shit. For some abominable reason, you continue, even though you're watching it on the news, even though you're seeing it in front of your face, you're like, you know what? There's just gonna be a way that Biden's gonna make a way. No, he's gonna make a way for you to die. Right.
They are comfortable living this lifestyle, that America has put forth.
Right. Right. Hey.
We got you.
That's exactly why they are posing another, I think it's $900 trillion, or it's either 9 trillion or 9 trillion. Okay, $9 trillion for basically welfare. It's a social social sustainment. All right, they want to keep everybody going. They want to give you California is doing that. They want to do the $900 of tax for the gas. All right, and then they want to give you $300 a month, trying to give everybody $300 a month to start off with. No, it's just
what you do for this, why you sign up for the PPP loans, these are your testaments for whether you believe in God or not. When you get the loan from these people, you've not grown your own food. You're not jurisdiction over your own life. You give them jurisdiction over your own life. That's the evidence. So when they say, no, you go to prison because this is a contract. You signed the contract. You took our money. You took this money. These gas credits, whatever like that. That's getting you more and more into it because you are of the world.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I know we have to drive cars and stuff, but remember, whenever you enter into a contract, somebody gives you something in prison. It's always a price to pay. So this is what's going on. And it's a real slick slavery. But God told you, I gave you all the fruits of the earth, all the food, every fowl, everything else.
Right.
Right? Why are you paying for it? I'm not saying that, obviously for convenience purposes we have to, but remember, man has to be self-sufficient because God gave you what you need.
Right. Hey, if you study, you'll find things to eat out here.
Yeah.
You can find stuff to sustain your daily diet.
Yes.
All right? Your daily diet. There's books out there. All right? But hey, Jake don't want to look it up. It's as simple as sage. All right? You can eat some sage to sustain you for the day. All right? Give you enough energy. All right? And then a vitamin on top of it. Eat a dandelion. Right.
We're gonna give you something. You can write some down. You won't. I go to court. What about guys that was helping out was convicted because he's what they call part of the system. I told him, don't do this, do that. Change your status, this and that, right? One thing we realize the voter registration, which is a testament to yes, he abolished history. He agrees by contract. This is his system, and whatever the person is, or whatever the contract says. This is how they get you. You're saying, okay, let's say, well, I don't believe this country, I don't believe this, man, I'm a free man, this and that. So wait a minute, look here, look at this evidence right here. So, if you exactly what you say. The form of what you say and your action are two different things.
Right.
We have testimonies that you agreed to vote. This votership right here keeps you in our system. So you must take this money.
Right.
And if we don't like you, now you're gonna go to prison. We're gonna give you some fiscal credits that if you walk across the street, no damage, we're gonna take $45 off of your money. And then pretty soon, eventually, you're not gonna have any money because you're not a free man because these are electronic credits, these are not real money. And you're into their world, you're in the Satan's world, you're in the hell.
Let your yea be yea and let your nay be nay. All right?
Everybody at Edinburgh is going to start. They're going to put they're going to start, pretty much policing it, and you're going to be held accountable for everything that you do because there's already crimes being committed on.
Yeah, people getting mind fucked. Yeah. Getting gang raped mentally.
You
know?
Really have to. Now she has a mental trauma.
Yeah, she has. Hey, because she was mind fucked. Right?
She still had that experience of feeling,
Violated. She was violated still. All right. It doesn't have to be the physical violation because what do they say? Everything begins in the mind. All right. It didn't even need to happen physically. And the crazy thing is the body will react as if it happened physically. All right.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run it that readeth it. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
That's the inevitable judgment that's coming. Every prophecy that's spoken in this book that hasn't passed yet, mainly World War III and MOTB. Okay, and then the prophecies of Esau, Edom being done away with.
Right, because those prophecies, pestilence is here. All right, pestilence is here on a larger scale than your common. I don't want to say anything because it might get flagged or whatever. But from your common illness, all right, pestilence is here in abundance. Okay, and it's only gonna get worse. All right. Go to Lamentations for me, and start at 7 again, or start at 8.
This is Lamentations 4 and 8. It says, their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick.
Right, because hey, when this famine comes, all right, not this food crisis, this famine. When starvation comes, all right, a lot of you people are gonna waste away. Continue on that.
So they'll look like a stick. That's what you're usually called when you don't have
Stick figure.
Your grandma say, you all skin and bone. You look like a stick. That's how a lot of people gonna be looking. Majority of people.
Right.
Verse 9, it says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
So Yahweh Shimei Shai is telling you, hey, it's better to die by the sword. It's better to die by a gun. It's better to get stabbed. It's better to be blown up. It's better to drown than to die by famine. All right, and tons of people are about to die by famine. All right, it is. Why do you think all these ranches and all these farm areas are being bought up? They're not only being bought up by certain people that own certain companies that have a certain amount of influence across the whole global scale, all right, but they're also being bought up by certain countries. All right, because it is tactical. America is nothing but a market. America's a market and everybody owns this bitch but Americans. All right? You are a bunch of fucking slaves that are ready to be sold or to be slaughtered. All right? You're either going to be sold, and how you are sold is, you know, when you've been in America so long, but your roots go somewhere else, and you can leave and go back to where you originally came from. You were an American, but you were sold back. All right? You get to go back to your land, your father's, your mother's land. You get to go back there. All right? But when this place dies of thermonuclear fire, a lot of these Americans, a lot of you Americans are going to die by thermonuclear fire and by what? Famine. Famine. You heard, you seen the Great Depression. The Great Depression is not shit to what's coming to this land of America. All right? The Great Depression is going to look like a modern day buffet. It's going to be a walking, your grandparents, the grandparents that heard about the stories, and the grandparents that may be alive in that time is going to be like, well, shit. I wish we were back at the Great Depression. All right? At least we had a thought that we can think about. All right? All you're going to see and smell is death, and see death everywhere. Go ahead. Okay.
Sorry about that. This is Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
Hey, 1/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans will make it through. All right, and it's for those who believe on this word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, those who are coming back to the laws, statutes, and commandments, those who are studying to show thyself approved. All right, those who are not worried about this monetary system.
Like I add, the hand joining in hand is everybody who's taking a part with the wicked. You're counted as wicked.
God.
That's why 2/3 of our people are wicked.
Right.
Okay, that's why these other heathen nations that don't really like America, but they're trying to reap the benefits off of it because it's beneficial to them. They still gonna get that judgment of being wicked.
Hey, that's in retrospect, that's the NATO and the EU. That's the G7 summit.
Those nations in Psalm 83.
Yeah.
Those that were confederate against me.
Continuing. All right, you continue with all your wickedness. All right, and you were on one accord to keep on destroying the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, so not only 2/3 of our own nation are going to have to deal with this, but the rest of you heathens, you're going to have to deal with it as well.
And then on top of the famine, what happens when you're malnourished and don't have all the those herbs and access to medical care.
Yep.
That's going to be another wave of pestilence.
Pestilence on top of pestilence, because guess what? When there's dead bodies in the street and they're just lying there, nobody to pick them up or bury them, what happens? Well, it decomposes, break down, and diseases.
The sewage system's going to be messed up.
Hell to the no.
One thing is that if you go to Home Depot and you buy a stud finder, put it on by somebody's arm, get a good stud finder, it will go off.
Yep.
Metal does not belong in your body. Why is there a stud finder going off in the arm that they shot you? You know what I'm saying? And who do you know? Why do you trust man? God said, I gave you every earth on earth. In my life, and I'm not better than anybody else. And I know that my health has gotten better by going more natural. And realizing that sometimes when you get sick, for a reason, God's trying to burn that out of you.
Right.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then not to stop God's work, to let it carry on, to let you know, don't eat that way again, because see the pain you went through last time.
Right.
And you burn it up, you catch that fire, whatever, your body's burning it out. People, what do? We take acid, we take cold medicine to stop the fever. Well, then you die. Or you get it grow wrong, and then it gets into something else first, So
try to let it run its course.
I'm glad nobody took the shot, because I believe that, time comes, that's going to be one way they're going to test you. Say, well, you get shot, Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying 3 years now after the shot, which I believe is, I'm not there, I'm not this. I'll just say this, I've heard this. The people who started AIDS, they just perfected it, and now it's this right now.
That jump shot.
I was just gonna say that because there was some information that came out, let's say, a couple weeks ago.
About 2 months ago.
That's a better
I think
way.
even Fauci admitted it,
Yeah.
that they used, that Magic Johnson
And the jump shot. Hit that jump shot.
to make the jazz. So, hey, you see, and then there's other abominable things. You really truly don't know everything that's being put in that.
Hey, when
And
they
it's definitely not lawful. Now there was another brother from a different camp that took it. He said immediately he felt like the spirit just left him. So that story alone, kind of tells you that it's a serious thing to mess with. Also, you shouldn't be tempting the Most High.
God.
I mean, why do you put this in your body? We do all blood stores and this and that, but why would you put a shot in your blood system? You have researched yourself. On top of that, how did you give your power away? Because you can't sue them anymore now.
Right.
Now you
because-
can't put them in prison. So there's no consequence for their actions.
And
They
they
say, look how stupid these people are. We should give them a bunch of words that say this and that, and put a bunch of people that we supposed to respect with a bunch of false knowledge. Just say, oh, make them sign this and that, and they'll get it right there. We're gonna.
They didn't
Well,
even
if it's so good, why you have me sign something? It says if it hurts you, you gonna die. What makes it less? How do you know that? I hear people all the time. Well, if you live like this, you're gonna die. Who are the main people dying? People that took the shot.
They didn't even put the ingredients in the box.
You gonna put that in your body?
They didn't even put the ingredients in the box. That goes to show you how far off they go with that jump shot. Yeah, they pimping you simple ass jakes. All right.
Paraphrasing scripture, the Lord says, "Thou shalt not make any cuttings in thy flesh."
Right.
All right, go ahead to that. I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
All right, you got a precept?
No, I
You got a precept?
Yeah.
Nahum 3 and 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft and selling nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I'm against thee, said Yahweh Shem Yahushai of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon their face, and I will show the nations their nakedness and the kingdoms their shame.
So Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to show, right? He's going to show, and he's showing, all right, the nakedness of this place, all right?
Witchcraft, Sakia, cut you off,
Go
but
ahead.
witchcraft and sorceries, in the scriptures, sorceries goes back to the word pharmakia, and we know where that leads to. That's the main trickery that these devils use, and what else do they use to deceive your mind? What else have they not been putting in you from when you were a baby, you come out the womb and instantly get defiled.
Right. Hey, that's why they got what was it?
And now it's necessary to get those, or else you ain't gonna live in this. Your body won't be able to survive.
Rockefeller.
Right.
Rockefeller. He's the one that did away and put all these all this petroleum and everything. He's the one that's got all had all this stuff. Do away with real medicine. All right. And this is not medical advice. I am not a medical advisor. All right. But there are herbs in the earth that you can eat to help every illness and element of illness that you have.
Because you look at people before, not just Dr. Sebi, but he's the main example. He gets deemed, pretty much he gets the same treatment as a terrorist, because he's a terrorist to those high, pharmaceutical companies.
Hey, and you can say, damn with Dr. Yasigbe and go back to Levitical law. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's where he pulled his
right. He pulled his knowledge, but you're going to give him the praise. All right. And it's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai who gave the knowledge first and foremost. All you had to do was look in the book. But hey, Jake, you don't want to read once again. But you'll listen to that, Nick. All right.
Dr. Sebi even said, he said, I don't read I don't read other people's books.
Right.
He said, I wouldn't even advise you to read my own. He said that in a lecture. But he said, I just read what's in the Bible. He said, what God tells me to eat, that's what I do. There was another dude, I believe he was a Edomite. He found out that eating the apricot seed, fights cancer. And he actually he published it, and he went to jail for it. He went to prison. Yeah. But he found out by eating that, kills off the cancer. And then published it because they said it was inaccurate, false information.
Right. And this, once again, this is no way, shape, or form any medical information. These are just herbs of the earth that may help inflammatory illnesses or anything, but it is by no means medical information, not deemed as medical information. All right? Salakia. All right? But you got to pray.
Yes, this is the book of Joel, chapter 7, starting at verse 10. And it says, Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the streets. 11. In the day that thy walls are to be built, in that day shall the decree be far removed. Verse 12. In that day also he shall come even to thee from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortress even to the river, and from sea to sea, and from mountain to mountain. 13. Notwithstanding the land shall be desolate because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doing.
Because all these nations, once again, who are confederate with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right, who are confederate with America, all right, who believe and are on one accord to keep this democracy going, all right, to keep these unrighteous and unlawful decrees continuing and to push out that vibration continuously and throughout the whole planet. All right. Hey, here it is. It might be foreign to you, but we were all not made to get along. We were not all made to be one and be together. We were all made as separate nations to be individuals, all right, and to be our nations, our respective nations, who we are, and we all have a part to play. It just so happens, all right, through the will and power of Yahweh, through the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, that the nation of Israel, Yasharallah, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, 1/3 of you, all right, will see salvation and is the nation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, you are that special people that will govern the universe under the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in righteousness. All right? Because what does Yahweh Bashim Yahushai say? I change not. And that the law is perfect. It is perfection. There is nothing wrong with the law. There is the only thing that is wrong in this system is you. You, chiefly Esau Edom, and your policies. All right, here it is. You had the ability to change laws and follow the law. You had the ability to so-called follow the law, but you chose not. All right, you chose to continue in wickedness. Now you're manufacturing this famine, starvation, hunger. All right, go back to Lamentations blog. I want to get through that.
Lamentations 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of fruits of the field.
Hey, pine away. That means slowly. Your body is slowly eating itself. All right, your body is just, and you just, guess what? step by step, you're getting weaker. All right? You are dying step by step. Hey, but because Al-Ashadya, all right, that demon-like power is going to sustain you. He's going to sustain you wicked ass people. All right? So every step that you take is every hunger pain that you feel. And when your kid's belly swells up and your belly swells up with air and with gas and your body is fucking hurting, you're going to think upon, those guys were telling the truth if you can think. Because guess what? I don't know if you know this, but the brain is a muscle. All right? That shit gets eaten up and deteriorates too. You're going to be all like fucking zombies. All right? That's the real zombies. That's what they're preparing for in the CDC. All right? Preparing for you fucking zombies.
And that's going to cause that sedition amongst men. Because when people are starved, that adrenaline, these people are going to start acting like real animals in the field.
That fight or flight kicks in.
The fight or flight, that adrenaline's going to kick in. Do or die.
Right?
And then you're going to have everything else going off as well. So people are going to be running these streets.
Yep.
Crazy.
Those multitude of things are going to happen.
A woman isn't going to be able to walk freely.
God.
There's going to be those ravenous men out there, those 2/3, just wicked men out there that didn't get what they wanted before. They'll drag her up and run off with her.
Hey, they're going to drag her off, run off with her, then eat her. Pop her and eat her. Right?
Take whatever she had.
It's
not going to. That's just an example of the terror that are going to be seen. It's going to be that complete. It's going to be worse than any movie that you've seen during those times.
God. Hey, go to.
I got a quick read.
God.
This is Job 5:20. It says, "In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword."
Read Lamentations, then read that again.
You want me to just continue down?
Yeah, continue down.
So this is Lamentations 4:10. It says, "The hands of pitiful women have sold in their children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people." All right. Break that down real quick.
I got it highlighted.
Thanks.
Salakia. I thought you said write it down.
No,
all right. Salakia. All right. Hey. Salakia. That's hey. This what is it called? Cannibalism. Cannibalism is coming back. All right. And the meat, read that part again. The meat of the
this is Lamentations 4:10. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children.
Now has sodden their own children. All right, has gave up their own children. And somebody, matter of fact, looked up the word sod.
S-O-D-D. And if you go, into the book of Ezekiel, you'll find that account.
Yep.
They two women, in that famine, they gave up their child, and then one of the women, played the other one. He said, "We're gonna boil this baby and eat it as a whole, as a whole congregation."
You see yourself on the side, sis? You got any questions? Okay. Sodden. S-O-D-D. Yeah.
Especially water soaked through.
All right. Is there more on that? And who can pull it up? And anybody got in the head the blue letter? Yeah, I think that. I want to get it in both places if y'all can. Get in like Webster's or any other.
So Sidon in the Hebrew it's bashal, and it says to boil, cook, bake, roast, ripen, or grow ripe. You know, and that's going directly into that account in Ezekiel.
All right, so your baby is going to taste. You think it's going to taste like your top sirloin. All right, hey, you're going to cook you women and you wicked ass Jakes out there. All right, and a bunch of you people. Here it is. You're going to eat your children like veal. All right, the young and tender meat. All right. Anybody else got it in the Webster's or anything? But I mean, that was to the point. I just want to show the duality of them both. All right. Shalom, Mark. Yep, saturated. All right, man. Hey, if we can't find it, then that's all right.
Took a couple of quick precepts here.
Okay. I got it. All right. Go ahead and continue on that for me real quick.
Lamentations 4 and verse 11 says, the Lord hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger and hath kindled a fire in Zion.
God. So this is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's fierce anger. All right, fierce anger to watch 2/3 of our own nation, all right, perish by famine, by the sword, all right, by these pestilence that are coming. All right, it is his will that will be done. All right, for your iniquity and for the whoredoms of you other nations that have continued on this. All right, that have continued to cause the affliction of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, whose father's line goes back, the true children of Israel. All right, you had you can pull a or you got that story.
No, I'm getting to it. It's in 24. I couldn't find it.
God.
I got something else for you.
God.
You want me to grab that?
Yeah, you can grab
Let me finish that script. Verse it says, and have kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations thereof.
Hey, devoured the foundation, the very foundation that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai built. All right, these other nations, all right, have broken. All right, and ultimately it was broken because we went off. So we're the ones who essentially broke it. But they continued that affliction, continued to make us go off. All right, and then put all these unrighteous decrees in that continue, that help continue the affliction as a whole.
Second Samuel.
Let me grab this real quick. This is Ezekiel 5 and verse 10. It says, I'm gonna start at 9. And I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of all thine abominations.
God, hey, read it just one more time, just because. Hey, yeah, how about Shimmy Awashai is beautiful. Hey, this is true. These are true bars and true poetry.
I gotta read down to like 12.
God, yeah.
This is Ezekiel 5 and 9. Says, and I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of all thine abominations. Therefore the father shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers. And I will execute judgment in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into the winds.
God. And he's talking about, hey, this is metaphorically and physically, first and foremost.
That's that destroying. That could go into the destroying one.
Oh, God. Yeah, how about Shimmy Awashai is not a joke. All right. I might be laughing, but I'm laughing at your calamity. All right. Yeah, how about Shimmy Awashai is not a power to be played with. Alashadya. All right. You have you fear fucking demons, the Conjuring demons when you watch a scary movie. How much more should you fear the Most High? All right. You're looking at a movie like, oh man, that shit would be scary. Who do you think's in control of that if that were to happen? And that's just a fucking movie. If you really seen that 13th ghost, who put him there?
Hey, this is why, the scriptures say it is better to be in the house of mourning. Because this is what you have to look ahead to. Now, this is going to be the future. And the ways prophecy's been popping off. We could measure the time diligently and see, where it's headed.
Get second address 15 or 16, 1 and 2. And hold that for me.
And let's continue on that. Verse 11, this is Ezekiel 5 and 11. Wherefore, as I live, saith the Lord power. The Lord Yahweh, surely, because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all the detestable things and with all thine abominations. Therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall my eyes spare, neither will I have any pity.
God, Yahweh Shimei Shai is not going to spare. He's not going to have any pity. He is not a respecter of persons. All right.
Proverbs 20 and 22.
Come on.
I will laugh at your calamity.
And mock when your fear comes. All
That's
right.
why he has the prophets on the highways and byways doing his will.
Rush. Second address 16. Get 16 and start at 70. And hold 70. Yeah. No, second address. I want you to hold second address 1 and 2. 15, 16, 1 and 2. Hold 16, 70, and then I want you to just hold 70 for right now. I'm gonna have something for you in a second. And Karatazak, I want you to go to second address 15. Look, I'm just showing because here, yeah, go from the top of 15, and then once you're satisfied with that from the spirit, once you're satisfied with that, jump over, right, and then I want you to go to right, so you can skip around that wherever you feel like the spirit's gonna take you in this portion right here, but I want you to
It's the main point.
no. All right, Salaki,
I have I got that account.
go ahead and pull that account. Hey, that's the spirit. We can bring it up. Joke fine. Oh no, we can't. It's all good.
The 2 Kings 6 and verse 29. It says, I'm gonna start at 28. It says, and the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And it came to pass that When the king heard the words of the women, he rent his clothes. He passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh.
Hey, this is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is giving you an account where this woman, all right, gave up her own children and decided with another woman and came to an agreement that, hey, you know what? Today we gonna eat your baby.
That next one we're gonna boil your son. You know,
Right.
That was the agreement that they made.
Because we can't take care of our children, we can't feed them, so we may as well eat them. All right. This is the thought of these wicked ass people. All right. And once again, this is not just women. This is gonna be men too. All right. You're gonna eat the abominable shit you eat now is only gonna get worse. You eat pork, shrimp, lobster. Yeah. You eat pork, shrimp, lobster, crawdads, feces, and all kinds of abominable shit that you continue to eat. You nasty motherfuckers. All right.
Right. I'll just
Yeah.
hit on that. There's if you read, I believe it's in the beginning of that chapter or the chapter before, you know, it goes deep into it, gives you the account where they made that deal.
Right. You want to read the whole account? Hey,
So,
hey, but that goes right there. Everything that happened for a time is written for a time was written for our learning. All right.
you know, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. That has been.
Yep.
You know, nothing new
Lovely
under the
thing.
sun.
Yep. Nothing new under the sun. All right. So go ahead and pull that. Second Esdras 15 and 16 and 2.
16.
Oh, Slakia. Let me read this. Yeah, 1 and 2. Slakia. Let me read this though. This is the book of Job, chapter 5. Slakia. Aha. All right. This is the book of Slakia. It's the book of Job, chapter 5, and verse 21. I'm going to start from 21, and it reads, Thou shalt be hid from the scourges of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. You want to go ahead and break it down as a read? I'll read for you for a second. Slacky, I'm about to. God, it's not running out of my nose.
No, but you know, you got to be,
Run to the car.
you know, show where your faith is.
Can you run to the car? There should be clean that.
You know, where that, where does your faith lie when, you know, when you're in these troubles? Because that's the true testament. You're gonna bow down to this beast system, you know, go with what the devil wants you to do, make that agreement, you know, take the MOTB. Are you gonna stand, you know, strong in this faith? You're gonna believe that Yahweh Bashim Yashai, you know, has a plethora of ways to feed you. You know, are you gonna fall out? Now it says, "Be fear not when these scourges come." I'll just
5 and what?
go 19.
This is the book of Job, chapter 5, and verse 19, and it reads, He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in seventh there shall no evil touch thee.
Right. That's for the elect. You know, everybody else by the elect, you know, doesn't have that hedge. You know, because you have to know the name of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, to get that cover. You know, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it. You know.
Hey, you have to believe on it too. You can't just hear it. All right, you have to show that faith and sincerity in it and believing.
The diligence, you know, in your work. He's just not, because you say Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, he's not going to, you know, grant you that covering. You know, unless you're truly, you know, what's that called?
Convinced in your mind.
Yeah, convinced. But unless you have that faith,
That means you are already predestinated. All right, you're already of the elect. All right,
that faith gonna get tested,
God.
and then it's gonna really show, who the elect, because the elect gonna eat during these hard times. That's why I said, "Fear not." Go just continue.
This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 20. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword.
Hey, famine, he's gonna feed us, and then we gonna escape that sword, whether it be a gun, whether it be that nuke dropping off, because he gonna say the elect in a twinkling of the eye, right?
Right. Hey, and whether it be continue to be that spiritual war in the days of Jacob's trouble. All right, because the war is not just physical. You have the war on your mind, the war of the spirit.
Yeah, that's gonna take a toll. That hour of temptation. I think that was
God, because we wrestle not against principalities, but wickedness in high places, and the rulers of roughly paraphrasing scriptures, rulers of
those
darkness.
principalities.
God.
Yeah, read one more down.
God. This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 21. And it reads, "Thou shalt be hid from scourges of the tongue." All right, so any lies that may come upon you, all right, any judicial court systems or anything like that, hey, continue. Neither shall thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh.
When that destruction come, you still gotta hold that faith. Hold on to that faith. Hey, but going into the scourges of the tongue, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Know that when you are delivered up to those judges, in that time, if that's your lot, that the Most High is gonna put them words in your mouth to speak.
Take no thought. All right, this is verse 22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth. Right? So Yahweh Shemi Shai is going to put the beast of the earth in league with us. All right? Whether those beasts be actual beasts, tigers and lions and bears, oh my, escape from the zoo. All right? Or whether it be man. All right? The beast of man, whether it be your enemy from another nation. All right? Yahweh Shemi Shai is either going to give you the power to subdue them. All right? Or he's going to put them in league with you to maybe help you out of a bad situation.
I have to throw up the curse real quick. Next thing one of them squirrels, we seen over there turn up and just
take out
your enemy, or your dog turn up. The Most High turn up your dog to go handle that robot dog.
Go on.
Because the weapons of these carnal weapons, they don't match up to the spirit.
God.
They can't fuck with Yahweh Shemi Shai,
Hey, and where's
his miracles?
Where's Yahweh Shemi Shai's spirit? In all things. All right?
Might have one of them, because the weapon's been furbished. All right, the sword's been furbished. So you might have one of them, robot police, John Wicks, and he might be coming at you, but then you just throw up a prayer. The Most High has it to where he just shuts him down right when he gets to you.
God.
Or he malfunctions, turns around and starts shooting back at the enemy. Let's say when the ways of man please the Most High, even his enemies be at peace.
Right, verse 23. Verse Lakia. 23. I'm gonna read this and then we'll go to the second address. This verse 23. For thou shalt be in languish with the stones of the field, and with the beasts of the field shall there be peace with thee. right? And that's just like the brother was saying, right? The beast of the field be at peace with you, all right? And it doesn't matter, once again, whether it's the beast of men, whether it's a robo cop dog or robo cop, all right?
Right? Yeah, the Most High can have one of these heathens. You know, they're looked at as beasts. Maybe a heathen come out and help you, or you know, yeah, and that's gonna. And if it's talking about if we're talking about animals, that's going back into that same dominion we had over the beasts of the field. Back in the days of Adam.
Oh. Oh. All right, go ahead. Pull second address 16.
1670.
No, 16 in 1 and 2.
Second address 16, verse 1. Woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia.
The rush.
Second address 16, verse 1. Woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Oh. Continue.
Second address 16, verse 2. Gird up yourselves with clothes, sack, and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
Right? So, well, hey, the destruction that is at hand, the destruction of America, the destruction of democracy, all right? The destruction of these false systems and these false rulers, all right? You false gods, all right? Because that word gods means powers. So you false powers, all right? Who are in effect and who have relevance on this side, all right? You're going to be as if there is no relevance, all right? You are irrelevant in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right? You're a false king that's sitting on the throne, all right? You and your abominable bitch, all right? Your queen's a whore, all right? And we know, here it is America that is the whore, all right? It's the king, what is it, androgynous? It's a king and a queen, all right?
Right. These women don't deserve that treatment.
God.
Don't deserve that treatment on this side, and because they not a woman themselves.
Huh.
But let's not get into that.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into that right now. Go ahead and pull 70.
Second Esdras, chapter 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
A great insurrection of those that fear the Lord. All right. So who fears the Lord? All right. The men of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. The people that believe, the people that believe on His name and believe on this word. All right. Go ahead and continue.
Verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
All right. So these other nations, all right, chiefly this wicked ass devil, Esau Edom, is here to cause hell on the people. Pull up Jacob's trouble for me. Cause hell on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's people. All right. And it's going to be like a day that has never been before. Salaki, I meant to tell you to get it before.
And for those who don't know what insurrection is, it is an uprising against civil authority.
Violent uprising against an authority or government.
That goes into that one movie, Insurgent.
Right.
One who rises in revolt against the government or its laws.
All right. Hey, this also goes into the siege. All right. You ever seen that movie?
Real quick, let me get this quick another definition. It says an organized and usually violent act of revolt or rebellion against an established government or governing authority of a nation, state, or political entity by a group of its citizens or subjects, Also, any act of engaging, such as a revolt.
Hey,
Yeah, V
Yeah.
for Vendetta. That's a good movie.
hey, and that's exactly if you look on, I think it was what's his name? Tucker Carlson, all right, on Fox News, all right, even said the revolt of the people, all right, is talking when he was talking about Joe Biden's creepy Joe Biden's his, what are they calling it? Food crisis? You mean the famine? That famine that is coming and that is already here in ways. All right. This is the revolt, the sedition amongst men. All right. These things happen when people get hungry. More so. It's already happening, but think. You have to watch your children waste away. Your wife is wasting away. Yeah, you're thinner. Your ass is gonna get thinner. You're gonna look just like that nigga. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 30:7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
God, the day of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who's that he that will be saved? All right, the 1/3. First and foremost, the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel. All right, Avaratazal, we be those men out here on the highways and byways. All right, and we know all the 1/3 is not here in its multitude. All right, and some of those elect men are no longer here, and they're in the spiritual realm. All right, waiting to be called. All right, waiting for those chariots at rest right now. All right, to show up with Yahushai and the Alahayim. No, but hold it though. All right.
Second Thessalonians, you're gonna see some of those elect bodies get beamed up in the from the grave.
God. All right. Go ahead and hit 15.
Second Esdras 15:1 says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in papers, for they are faithful and true. Share not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee."
Hey, these words are faithful and true. Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai said, fear not. Don't fear none of these motherfuckers. Don't fear what this man can do to you on this side. Don't fear with the when they bring you up to court. All right. Don't fear if you lose your job. Don't fear if you lose your home. Don't worry about it. All right. You have to bear your cross each and every day. Each and every day through the will and power of Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. All right.
Verse 4, for all the faithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
For all you, for all you, all right? Not only of the heathen nation, but for especially 2/3, you 2/3, and you 2/3 who are out there prophesying, all right, and teaching and preaching the false doctrine, all right, false narratives, all right, false prophecies, saying that the MOTB is not the RFID chip, all right, saying that it's embargo or anything else out of what it truly is, right? Whether it be the Bible, whatever, however Deacon said it, I don't even have to repeat it because you already know the abominable speech that he speaks. All right, it does not line up or coordinate with the faith. All right, with the faith in the true doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. Yeah, just continue down.
Verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Hey, how about Shimei Shai said, everything is going to come. Famine, death, the sword, that's the modern day gun, a missile, a grenade, a spider, all right, a rat, a lion, a tiger, a bear, doesn't matter. Yahweh Shimei Shai has umpteenth ways to die.
Right, they're hurtful works that are being fulfilled, man. That's talking about now you gotta reap what you sow.
God.
Now you gotta eat the fruit thereof. That you defiled you gotta reap the causes. Take accountability for the destruction that you built. In Isaiah 24 chapter, it says the earth mourneth and fadeth away.
Yep.
All right. Sorry. This is Second Esdras 15 and where should I go down to?
Wherever you are comfortable from that. I'd say drop down to 14.
14.
Yep.
Second Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwelt therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight another, the swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall not stand in their power.
On the courses of their actions shall not stand in their powers. All right? It should not regard, hey, nobody's going to care about what Creepy Joe is saying. Nobody's going to care about what Donald Trump is saying. Nobody's going to care about what anybody who's in a power position is saying, let alone your neighbor. All right? Here it is, your neighbor. You're the best of friends right now. All right? You're the best of friends. Tom, Dante, Javante, them my homies. They wouldn't do that. We gonna band together. All right? If you got niggas is willing to take you out for some bread right now, they really gonna take you out for some bread. Some bread. And I'm not talking about greenback breads. I'm talking about one slice of bread for you and each child in your house. Shit, it might just be one slice. All right? Nobody is going to care in that day. This is a wicked day that's coming. Y'all think it's a joke. Y'all think it's a joke, but yeah, how about Shimei Shai? We already read. He's going to laugh at your calamities and mock you when your fear comes. All right? His men, Abarat is how we be those men, and the 1/3 are going to do the same. Be like, that's a damn shame. Walk over that dead body. Ha! Look at him, look at him. All right? Hey, that's that nigga that was hard. He was so hard, pushing niggas on the block.
The ones that was the hardest on the block laid out.
Right.
That's why, in that day, all them 2/3 that was talking that shit, they ain't gonna be talking it no more. They're gonna be dead, too weak to move.
Right. Hey, Miss Parker is gonna look like the crackhead from Friday. Even worse. All right.
That's why, in Isaiah 4:1, where in that day 7 women will cleave to one man. That's talking about a man of the Lord, because they're gonna recognize, that these other, women with penises is what they is.
God. All right. We're not even gonna call them men.
They just women with they damn near a shim with the way that they act.
Right.
Whatever you want to call them, because they act like pussies, and act all feminine and shit. But they gonna see that they don't want that. They're not gonna be judging off of your appearance. They ain't gonna judge off of.
Doesn't matter how tall you are.
Yeah, they gonna.
That list.
Oh, he's not getting fucked up right now.
What does his bank account look like? Shit, you're gonna be like, does he have some bread? You know, can I get a cap full of water?
He has a house with some water in it.
Right. Can I get a cap?
He has some soap. I can wash my ass with in a bucket.
Right. There's he's eating. All right. Oh, there's multiple of them. You know what, girl? Don't even worry about that. Let's band together. You know what? We're gonna make our own clothes and wear our own apparel. Roughly paraphrasing scripture. All right. Just let us be called by your name. Right? You gotta pray.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 19, starting at verse 22. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the man that came to thy house, that we may know him. Reason why I brought this out is because not only are you women going to get it, but some of you men too, because you got these booty warriors, you know, like they say, you know, like these men that when they get released from prison, even though a lot of them are out of prison now, but they ain't coming out as that weak, scrawny man. They're coming out as these big, buff, brawny men. They're going to be predators looking for the weak to prey upon. And now I'm going to drop down to verse 24. And it says, behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do them what seemeth good unto you, but unto this man do not so vile a thing. Verse 25, but the men would not hearken to him, so the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning, and when the day began to spring, they let her go. So that right there just goes to show.
To continue on in that story, that she ended up dying. All right, she literally got fucked to death. All right, and that's exactly what's going to happen to these women out here, who are these harlots. All right, these women that are by themselves and think themselves to be in a good case. All right, this is exactly what's coming. All right, you think people are having trouble finding food now? The famine is coming. All right, the famine is really here. All right, it's not going to be a hobby or a luxury to go into a restaurant. Fast food is not going to be there. Guess what? You are not going to have that luxury. That 99-cent menu is going to be $299, $199. All right, and that's during hyperinflation. All right, you're going to get a beautiful case. All right, and then a bunch of other shit is going to happen. All right, a bunch of other continuous shit is going to continue to happen. All right, you think you're going to have the luxury to be dumpster diving, and you're not, especially as a woman.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that lecture up. Just letting them know that, you know, that not only the women gonna get it, but some of the men too. Like
It's gonna be to everybody who's wicked and not following the ways of the Lord, not adhering to the laws, statutes, and commandments. They're gonna get it.
Yeah, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not a respecter of persons.
rape is a form of judgment.
Come back in a baby in that time, and you were meant for destruction. You're gonna get it too.
All right. You gotta pull something.
Yeah. Yeah. In that time, perilous.
Yeah. 2 Timothy 2, 3, and 1. This known also that in the last day periods time shall come.
Read that again and read out the rush with the camera.
This is 2 Timothy 3:1. This known also that in the last day periods time shall come.
Perilous times shall come.
Perilous time.
So perilous times shall come. That's going to be the very times. Hey, matter of fact, just for edification, pull up the word perilous.
That's that extreme wickedness, man.
God. Right? And that, hey, it's going to continue.
From all the
Right?
from all the judgment that's being passed out, the pestilence. Or you can leave that alone.
And the word perilous goes to hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, and savage.
Harsh, fierce, and savage. All right? Hard to bear. All right?
Because the Lord's going to release his righteous indignation.
It's going to be hard for you to bear. All right? Oh, God. That's a good to see it. She was about to come over here and start dumping some trash and try to steal bags and shit.
That's how it's gonna be. I mean, like, you're gonna have people.
And the last time, not even gonna be doing that. She gonna see some bags over here. She gonna try to run up.
She ain't even gonna run up. Her ass is gonna be in the house. She's gonna be trying to run away. She ain't gonna have time. Women ain't gonna have time. All right?
She ain't gonna get got up.
Right. She gonna be trying to hide. You women think you gonna be out there and be like, you know what? I'm a bad bitch. You bad bitches are gonna be broke bitches. Broke down, busted, broke back. You know, and I don't mean the movie like, hey, there will be no lesbians in that day. All right? Lesbianism will be done away with.
Hey, just wait for all them little sewer people out here, you know, to start
Right.
coming out during the sunlight. They're gonna be out during the day.
Right. They're gonna be out
Because when everybody's in the same cases, then you know, what does it matter?
the underground city is gonna come above
When
ground.
the police ain't there to police shit and to you know, enforce the law, you're gonna see a bunch of them out here.
Right.
They're gonna be, you know, and some of them mentally crazy,
Hey.
war vets.
And so, hey, and think, in that day, these are gonna be most of the people that have the upper hand over most of you jakes.
They've been living this.
This is their life. They know this. They've been in these streets, all right? Underneath these streets. They've been in there, all right? They know how to survive in a way. And don't get me wrong, that day is going to be like no other, all right? But they're going to be in a better case than a lot of you so-called Americans, all right? You relaxed so-called Americans, all right? Death, destruction, and famine is coming, all right? None of this shit is gonna matter. Not your car, not the NBA, not the NFL, not Boosie Badass, not Floyd Mayweather, not Jadetta. I don't care who you are. Not PlayStation, not Xbox. None of that shit's gonna matter. Right? You gonna have the power. Hey, you gonna be in real life War of the Zombies. You gonna be in real life Call of Duty, Zombie Land. Real life. All right? You better learn that double tap. Get your cardio up. All right?
You know what they say, when the cats go away, the mice come out to play.
Right. All right, go ahead, Slug.
Start back at 16. For there shall be sedition. Talking to 2nd Esdras 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
So Dante, Monte, Jim, Bob, Tim, Sarah, Becky, all of them. And the governors and the senators and the presidents and whoever. Ain't nobody gonna care about what nobody else is saying.
Hey, you know, going back to what we was talking about earlier in camp, you know, while Esau can lose his power over laws and everything, the law of the Most High still gonna stand. All right. You still gonna have judgments going out day and night.
Right. And you still gotta abide by those laws in that time. Hey, you still not supposed to eat shrimp, pork, and lobster.
Right.
Right. You see some mussels. Right. You see some mussels. You happen to be in a freshwater spot and you see some freshwater oysters. You better not eat those motherfuckers. All right. You still held to the law. That pork is not good. Don't say I'm so hungry. I just a little rind.
Right. Being an Israelite, you might get judged on the spot for that.
Right. Yeah, that pork come alive. All right. Rot you from the inside out and let you feel everything.
Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to.
Hey, you shall desire to go in the city. You might desire to go from North Las Vegas to Henderson and may not be able to go. You can't make it past the checkpoints. You can't make it past the martial law. Or, fuck, it's so bad outside that you can't even go outside. You know, you're worried about your wife who was at work when this shit popped off.
Might have it closed off like a movie on Netflix that came out not too long ago, like Army of the Dead.
God,
It might have it all blocked off. Like,
might be like Birdcage
Like that other series called Colony.
or Colony. You know, all this stuff, martial law and all that stuff is coming. All right, you've seen it in these other cities. Why not? Why wouldn't it happen here in America? Yeah, we got a whole bunch of shit here. All right, it's just, you know what? The playoffs is happening. Russell Wilson is dating a tranny. All right, who the fuck cares? All right, that transformation that happened is that person's business. Nobody cares. That belongs to them. I don't, Salaki, it might have been wrong. Whoever, not Russell.
I know that there's some
Dak.
shit.
Cowboys. Dak Prescott.
I mean, it's not so surprising though. You know,
Right.
there's so many
Right.
leaders in this society that you don't know what you get.
Right. So,
Probably don't be knowing what you get.
hey, that's that. Hey, we're not worried about that. You do what you do. You do what you do. That belongs to you. Let's talk about something that's relevant. Let's talk about, you know, some laws that were signed in. Let's hear about that. Why did Wuhan we on damn it, almost had it. Why did we on news? All right. Why was it off of YouTube for 7 days? That's important. All right. That's important. We want to know why. Why? Because they're bringing out information that is going to affect you. All right. That affects you, Americans. That affects the Ukrainians. That affects the Russians. All right.
That's going into, you know, family of the word,
God.
you know, and not being able to, you know, and really what that goes into, that's YouTube and these other tech companies
Policing.
policing, but controlling the media for their propaganda reasons.
Hey, that new metaverse that we were talking about earlier in the chat.
Usually, who controls the propaganda controls the war, because now you got all these Americans thinking, yeah, Putin needs to die, you know. I'm trying to say it another way, but it came out like that. You got all these Americans saying, you know, and it's stupid as Jakes,
Right.
you know, saying, save Ukraine, help for Ukraine. Tim Tebow got a fucking foundation for Ukraine.
Right.
Who gives a, you know, who gives a fuck about Ukraine? Y'all getting exactly what was meant for y'all to be getting. And some of you Americans gonna get exactly what you were meant to be getting.
Exactly. I ain't never been to Ukraine. Ukraine ain't never been to me. We do not have anything in common. Your judgment is nigh.
The Jakes is doing that when they telling that if you're not of Ukraine, you got to fight the war.
Right.
So you can't leave. You got to stay here and fight with us.
And so, like, all these other, what this is, all this other bullshit going around, it's all other, it's just distractions. It's just Babylon is a place of confusion.
Sure.
And they're using all these sorceries and their witchcraft, which is the media, to distract you from the main thing, so they could play it off as, oh, it's just a inflation, or it's just what was it called, food crisis.
God.
All right.
Famine, not food crisis. Famine. Sorry, I just want to drive the point. Famine, starvation, no crisis. All right, because when you hear, oh, it's a food crisis, you think of Esau saying it'll be okay. We're just experiencing a little crisis right now. No, famine. And I'll say it quietly and softly. Famine. Yes, coming to you, coming to a state, coming to a continent, coming to a country near you, if it's not already there. All right, but to multiply thereof.
Right, you got these other, and there's distractions within just the so-called Hebrew Israelite community.
God.
Just the Israelite community. You got debates going on, which we're not in the time of debate. We just go out, say what it is. Somebody got some questions, we answer them. But there's y'all having debates and selling tickets, and all this other folly, but don't bring out the prophecy. You had a preset. You had a preset.
I got this one. This is Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
And what is his pleasure right now? To bring death and destruction unto this planet. All right? To subdue and to clean this planet from the unrighteous decrees and the unrighteousness and the fucking filth. All right? This place is filthy. All right?
Setting his favorite people back up.
God.
I got something. 1 second. You was holding something right? What?
65.
Yeah, hold on. This is Psalms 119 and verse 123. No. Oh no, it's going to suck.
All right? Hey, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are so damn proud. You're so proud. If your father's line goes back, especially, all right? You're so proud and prideful of, can't nobody tell me nothing. All right? We are a nation that is to be led, first and foremost. We are led by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right? We are the truest servants. All right? There is not a servant that can do it better than Yasharal. We are the servants to teach servitude, as these nations will be servants unto Yasharal. First and foremost, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, then his people. All right, but his will is for all other nations to be subdued under his people. And that goes to show you, as a righteous judge as he is, he didn't just have one person of the nation. All right, there's a hierarchy in everything, but the whole nation men, women, and child, the whole nation, all right, is righteous after death by pain. 1/3, all right, 1/3 of the nation of Israel, first and foremost, starting with the 144,000 elect men, all right, will be that example of righteousness. And then the rest of the multitude of the 1/3. But the entire lineage, their entire genealogy, the entire heritage of the nation of Israel will be righteous and without blemish after they learn death by pain. The 2/3. All right, go ahead, Sluck.
This is Psalms 119 and 126. It says, "It is time for thee, Lord Yahweh, to work, for they have made void thy law." Talking about the destruction that why Yahweh Shai is going to bring down upon this world, man.
Go on.
Want me to go back to the second address?
John, let me get I want you to go back second address, but I'm pull this pre real quick. This is the book of First Esdras, Slakia. Yeah. Second Esdras, chapter 1 and verse 27, and it reads, ye have not as it were forsaken me, but your own selves, saith Yahweh. All right. Not obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, we didn't forsake Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. We forsook ourselves. We forsook the heritage that he had given unto us. All right. This is the judgment. All right, this is the judgment. We're in these times and have to go through Jacob's trouble and everything for the judgments for our actions. All right, and the other nations have to go through it because of our actions, but because of their actions. All right, just because the law wasn't given to them doesn't mean they don't have to live by the law. The law was given for a purpose, and the purpose was to what? Subdue the entire planet, to rule the entire universe in government and righteous and rulership under the will and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. What is the will? That his will be done. All right, and what is his will? To live clean, to eat clean, to be fruitful and multiply. Not only the nation of Israel, but all these other nations as well. Now, they're not going to multiply and be as clean as Israel, no. All right, but there's still a standard. There's a better standard to live thereby. All right, go ahead. Yeah, you can jump down to 55.
Second Esdras 15 and 55 says, thy reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom, therefore shalt thou receive recompense.
God, the reward of thy whoredom. The whoredom, Salaki, the whoredom that was caused by you other nations. All right? The whoredom that was caused by you other nations unto the children of Israel. All right, for the abominable things that you continue to commit, the acts you continue to commit unto the children of Israel, and the defilement of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua's name and his law.
56, like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, shall deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall to the sword. Thy cities shall be broken down. All thine shall perish, the sword in the field.
The screen's a little dark.
God, as thou hast done unto my chosen. All right. Battery dead?
I don't know. Yeah, it's on 5%. It's not starting.
If you want to go car. I got a battery in my car in the middle console.
It wasn't charging. So you just gotta check right there. 5%.
5%. Oh, yeah, we gotta close out. Yeah. We got a couple more minutes. All right. But just go ahead and continue on that right quick. No, you still holding 16?
Yeah, I'm still there.
All right. Yeah, that's where we go ahead on that. Spirit.
Got the battery.
Verse 58, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood for very hunger of bread and thirst of water.
God, just because you got that bunker, all right, just because you have those, you're self-sustaining, all right. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, hey, he had a special verse just for you. That's by George Bush, just for you, you Americans, all right. That thought you were being that good case up in the mountains. Oh, you know, I don't live in the city, so I'm good. That famine ain't gonna touch me. I own a farm. All right. Yahweh Shem Yahushai has destruction for everybody.
And so, what these devils gonna do, they're gonna, you know, they might drop something to kill your whole field.
Right.
Cut your water supply off. Even if you got water on your own, if you got your own well,
Right.
it might
Poison your well. Somebody poison the water. All right.
the wickedness of these devils is say great wrath in Revelation 12:12, man. They gonna make you come to them.
God.
They're gonna try to fulfill that lender position.
Yep.
That the Most High has blessed them with.
Hey, this is their last hoorah. So know that all stops are going to be pulled. These devils are going to make sure that they, and everything that they can do within their power, they're going to do not to lose power. And it's still not going to work. And the powers that be that want them to lose power, they're going to do everything in their power to crush them so they can gain power. That's why it's called a power struggle. All right? And as you motherfuckers is battling, all right, in World War III, Yahweh Shai is going to come on those chariots. All right? And the Alahayim got a little bit more, 58, right down to 58. Yeah. Oh, I think that was. All right. Go to Edris, second Edris. You stopped at 71, right?
Yeah, 72 right now.
You're on 72? Slovakia. Go down to, just read down through 76, and then we're going to go ahead and close out.
2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses.
All right, so waste and take away the good, cast them out of the houses. All right, that's sedition amongst men, sedition amongst men, as well as these the governors, the UN and everything coming into your houses, taking your goods. All right, because don't think that these people aren't going to try to get what they can get in that time and either try to send it back to their families or use it for themselves. All right, as well as your women and yourself. As the brother was going into, you might have some that want to rape your wives. You might have some that are butt pirates and want to rape you. Okay, go ahead and continue.
And real quick, you're starting to see,
And there's not going to be any sirens for you because nobody's going to care.
you're gonna be hearing war cries and gunfire, explosions.
Right.
But you ain't gonna be hearing that.
Right. There's no help.
The firemen might be out for a little bit, and they're gonna wither away too.
Right.
Hey, but what I was gonna say was you're starting to see these celebrities. You're starting to see these celebrities, showcase they little bunkers.
Yeah.
The Kardashians.
Yeah, and their whole food storage supply. But don't think that they're gonna get away with it. Only the elites gonna have it.
Yeah, only the elites and the elect. The elites are going to get away for slavery. Matter of fact, somebody hold that. That's going to be the last verse we end. Somebody hold that.
I was also going to say on one of the brothers' channels, they were talking about how these court systems are now talking about us Israelites and how we're out here on the highways and byways,
That's persecution. That's the famine of the word. Unfortunately, with the battery's done, we're not having time to go into all that. But go ahead and get the rest of that so we can,
verse 73. Then shall they be known whom are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire.
Hey, Yahweh Shemi Shai is trying his men. Abaratazah, we be those men, trying us gold in the fire. All right? So we receive our hell each and every day. All right? We receive the things of the flesh, whether it be elements, whether it be financial, whether it be woman problems, whether it be car trouble or whatever. All right? Yahweh Shemi Shai puts us through our hell every day. But Abaratazah, roughly paraphrasing scripture, we endure thou as a good soldier. All right? Thanking Yahweh Shemi Shai day and night for our daily bread, for everything that we have and everything that we don't have. All right? We thank him both ways. Thank you for not making me a millionaire. Thank you for allowing me to be able to fix my car. Thank you for letting me wake up this morning and be able to tie my shoe. All right? Thank you for letting me have a cup of water. But thank you for letting me be a 2/3 ass nigga lost in the sauce. All right? Thank you for the one woman you've given me. Thank you for the 50 women you've given me. Thank you that they're in order. And thank you for keeping me from the snares of a woman's heart. All right? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. 75.
Yahweh Shemi Shai will deliver us. Abaratazah, we are those men. All right? We'll deliver the 144,000 elect men and the multitude of the 1/3. All right? We'll deliver them from the troubles that are to come. The perilous time, the days of Jacob's trouble. A time like it's never been before. All right? Never. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 75. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the power is your guide.
Come on, be ye not afraid, never doubt. For Yahweh Shemi Shai is our guide. All right? And he has the men out here on the highways and byways, starting with Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar. All right? Apostle Rakah, Apostle Ramla, and the elders and the men who are doing the work in truth and sincerity. All right? When the headship is out on the highways and byways, continuing 30 years plus. All right? Continuing in the faith. Keep on speaking that same thing. That righteous message. All right? That 100% truth. All right? If you don't know the group is GMS. All right? Apostle Tahar on down. And the men who are teaching that same doctrine. Continue. And then brothers, after you read this, brothers got 1 or 2 scripts to close it out. But I want you to finish on that last script with that.
Verse 76. And the guide of them keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift themselves up.
God, keep my precepts and my commandments. Everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning. Roughly paraphrasing scripture. And don't let your sins weigh you down. All right? You repent. Call on the name of Yahweh Shemi Shai. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose father's line goes back. Repent and understand that Yahweh Shemi Shai, if you be of that number and you are in truth and sincerity, call upon him and change your ways. All right? Yahweh Shemi Shai may have mercy on you to deliver you out of this fucked up time, out of this evil day. All right? Repent.
Verse 77.
No, that was it.
Okay.
God, you got something else, Josh? All right. Got anything? All right, go ahead.
Revelations 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Right? So he that led into captivity shall go into captivity. All right. So those of you, those other nations, I don't know where you point the giver. The other nations, all right, of you who led the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans into captivity, all right, you and those ones that are Confederate with you, all right, will have to suffer a recompense. That recompense is captivity, all right? You will be bondmen and bondwomen, all right? Slavery is coming back in a big way, shackle and chains, all right? That's coming back. You're going to be on the chain gang, all right? It's going to be you. And we know you're not going to run. We might have you run just for sports, all right? Just go ahead and run. See how far you can get. And then round your ass back up and put you back to work, all right? This is the patience and the faith of the saints, all right? And who are the saints? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? All the nation of Israel will see salvation, all right? But first and foremost, the elect will see salvation the first go around. Will be delivered, all right, in the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of Israel, all right, through the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. 2/3 of our own people will know death by pain. Matter of fact, we didn't get it all day. Pull Zechariah for me. And after Zechariah, you know, we're going to try to close out.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. All right, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to fucking die, perish by famine, by famine, by famine, by the sword, by thermonuclear fire, by a snake, by a hissing cockroach that has a disease. It doesn't matter. Something. All right. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has how many ways that you could die? I don't know. Let's start at 1 billion. At 1 billion. All right. Go ahead.
But the third part should be left therein.
But the third part should be left therein. The 1/3, starting with 144,000 elect men, and then the rest of the multitude of the 1/3. All right, will see salvation. All right, will be delivered.
Verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power.
Until Yahweh Bashim Yahushai sees his image in us. All right, we are being refined as gold and silver is refined, until we are purified to the best of our ability on this side, until he says, you know what? That's good enough right there. That's what I need. Now, the 1/3, get beamed up and change. Give them those new bodies. Give them those new bodies. Let's have that wedding. Time to party. All right? That prophecy is fulfilled. Let's move on to the next. All right? Call halog Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakadash. All honor and glory and praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right? Anybody, anything else? All right. With that, we're going to give all honor and glory and praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Bayasha Debadat, the house of David. Till the next time we say Shalom, Wa Abba Baba, DTA soon.